Well, earlier we spoke to Greek MEP Nôtis Mariás, who was near the metro station when the explosions took place.
The parliament is close to the Malbec station that the explosion happened, and it took at least 3/4 of an hour for the police to stop the circulation in the Billiard Avenue, which is an avenue very close to the Malbec station. Now, from my office, I see the Billiard Rue. It is empty. I have seen many ambulances and police cars and motorcycles and going towards the metro station. And what is important is that although the terrorist who has been arrested a few days ago, according to reports in the newspapers, he has said that he was preparing terrorist attacks in Brussels. I didn't see any specific measures in terms of security from the Brussels police authorities. And what also is important, last November the MEPs have asked for high security measures for the European Parliament, and the Belgian authorities asked the Parliament to pay the cost for these security measures, which is outrageous. And the measures of safety around the European Parliament were not so important, and this applies not also for Brussels and also for the European Parliament building in Strasbourg.
Good afternoon to you. I was in my office at the European Parliament, and as you know, the blast in the metro station took place 1 hour after the attack, the terrorist attack in the airport of Brussels. What I have mentioned was that there were no security measures around the European Parliament after the attack at the airport of Brussels. And I think this is a very big mistake on behalf of the security forces of Belgium. Because when you have a terrorist attack in Brussels, especially in the international airport, it's very obvious that after that you should have heavy measures in terms of security for certain areas, especially the buildings of the European Parliament and the European Commission. The second point that I can mention, because I had been looking from my window on the 7th floor of the European Parliament, was that the main road called the Rue Belliard was on circulation at least 3/4 of an hour after the attack in the metro station of Malbec, which is also a very big mistake. And also, half an hour ago, the police sealed only the area around the European Parliament. I think the Belgian authorities, especially the security authorities, have been committing serious mistakes. And especially when you had the terrorist who was arrested some days ago in Belgium, and according to reports he has said that he was preparing attacks in Brussels. I think it was very irresponsible from the point of view of the Belgian security authorities not to take very harsh measures, especially in critical places like airports or metro stations or around the European Parliament. And another point that I would like to raise is when last November we had the attacks in Paris and in Brussels, we have as MEPs raised the issue of security of the premises of the Parliament. And the answer of the Belgian government was that the Parliament should pay the cost for any security, that is to say, to pay the cost for soldiers and policemen that were going to keep an eye in the premises of the European Parliament. This is outrageous because here in Brussels we have many politicians, many people visiting Brussels. The economic life of Brussels depends on the Parliament and the Commission and the European Council, and the Belgian authorities didn't want to pay any money for security purposes. I think these are very obvious mistakes on behalf of the Belgian authorities. And it proves that Schengen does not work. Schengen is just a joke, because they were supposed to have gathering information about terrorists. This is the Schengen system. And the terrorists that have attacked in Paris or in Brussels, they were citizens of Belgium or citizens of France. What I believe is that there should be a close cooperation of the Western authorities with Russia in order to finish with the case of Daesh or ISIS. If there is no cooperation with Russia to counter terrorism, then there will be many problems.
We are running out of time, but just before we let you go, what do you believe is the answer to what appears to be a serious threat to Europe? Is more security the answer, the shutting down of the visa-free zone, etc.? Is that what needs to be done to tackle this threat, just very briefly?
Well, I think we should have a balance between security and democracy. But what I think is there should be cooperation between West and Russia in the case of ISIS in Syria. There is the case, and we have to finish with the case of ISIS. And of course we know that Turkey also helps ISIS. So there are various international issues that have to be resolved, and the role of Russia in cooperation with the West is very critical in order not to give the ISIS the chance to organize more attacks in Europe. I think this is the political answer, and this answer should take place very concrete in the case of Syria.
Nôtis Mariás, Greek MEP, thanks so much for joining us live from Brussels, RT International. Great to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.